Hey guys, here we are with a new chapter in physics, human eye and its defects. So, first of all, when you hear about eye, what do you think? Sir, it's a sense organ which helps us see objects around us, right? Exactly. So, as a sense organ, it's really incredible, and we really can't imagine if anything happens to our eye, right? What and how we will interact with the world around us. So it's a really important sense organ, and the mechanism behind how light falls on our outermost layer of the eye, goes into the eye, and the image of the object formed behind the eye, and then that signal goes to the brain and how it is interpreted, along with some common defects that are pretty common with the general people. We'll also cover that in this chapter. I hope you'll enjoy it. So here you can see a human eye. Well, starting with the outermost layer, actually that is the transparent tissue. Exactly, that is called cornea. You know, cornea is the only tissue in human body in which the blood circulation doesn't happen. Exactly, and it's transparent. So that is the first layer with which the light coming from external world interacts. Okay, and through the cornea, it enters through the black opening that you see. This opening is called pupil. Okay. However, this opening can be controlled, and this is controlled or regulated, you can say, by iris. So what is iris? Do you see the brown part of the eye actually, which defines the color of our eye? Exactly. That is what iris is. So it is layers of muscles which control the opening and closing of pupil, and that decides how much amount will be entering the eye. Usually, it's the case when we see a bright light, encountering very bright light, the pupil tends to close up or tends to take minimum area, minimum opening, right? And usually in the dark, when we are able to focus or see objects to guide us in the dark, the pupil is at its maximum opening, and that control is done by iris. Iris also regulates pupil, along with that defines the color of our eye. Okay, and behind the cornea, behind the iris, you can say there is a lens that sits, and that is convex in nature naturally. That lens regulates the focus, where the light entering the eye will be focused. Okay, and that is decided on which object we actually focus on, whether the object we are focusing on is at quite far distance or is it at some considerable nearby distance. Accordingly, the thickness of that lens is changed. Okay, we'll see that in the coming slides. So as discussed earlier, the first layer is cornea, outermost layer, and then you have iris, that also defines the color of eye plus regulates the opening and closing of pupil. And then you see this crystalline lens sitting at the back. Exactly, it is, first of all, note it down, convex in nature. Okay, convex means a lens which is thin towards the end and thick towards the middle. Okay, and as you know, convex lenses बताओ diverging है converging है in nature. Exactly, it is converging in nature. So obviously, sir, light falling on the lens parallelly to the principal axis will converge exactly to other side of the lens. Okay, and this muscles that you see here, which control how thick or how thin the lens will be. Sir, why is there a need, first of all, right? Why is there a need that a lens needs to become thin or thick at different or certain situations? Because to be able to focus on objects which we see far away or the nearby objects, तो उसके चलते फोकल लेंथ चेंज होती है. किसकी? लेंस की. और फोकल लेंथ चेंज करने के लिए, इस चेंज को अचीव करने के लिए सीलियरी मसल्स हेल्प करते हैं. Okay, they work in tandem with, yes, crystalline lens. And then at the back of the eye, this yellow layer that you see, the cross-sectional view, it has photosensitive cells. Two types of cells basically, rod cells and cone cells. I'm pretty sure you can recall from your 8th grade that you must have learned that cone cells are the ones which help us to detect color. Exactly. And rod cells help us to detect the amount of brightness. Okay. And talking about shape, cone cells, as they say, they're conical in shape and they help us, they help light to, disperse in different colors. That's why they help us to detect colors. And rod cells are cylindrical in shape. Okay. And then all that signal, photosensitive cells जो pick up करती है ना in the retina, all that signal, electrical in nature, is passed to the brain through that optic nerve. And then the brain processes that signal and interprets it in a way that we are able to perceive the world around us the way we do. Okay. So here is a small summary about the different important anatomical terms that are frequently used in order to describe human eye. So as discussed